In this video, we're going to take a ghost tour on London's oldest bridge, located in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. Join me as we delve into London's bloody paranormal history with ties to Jack the Ripper and Napoleon. Let's take a journey.
So at this point, this is just kind of when I close this up and talk a little bit more about the dedication, which was on October 10th, 1971. There was an official ribbon cutting, and all the people were standing, of course, on this side. And you know, somebody had noticed that there was a Victorian couple on the top of the bridge. So then chatter started happening. Oh, what the Historical Society, you know, brought a couple of character actors, or the theater. Who is that, you know? And nobody could figure out who this couple was that they were seeing. And the deeper people tried to look and squint to see, all of a sudden the people disappeared just like a mirage. So yes, that was the opening ceremony, October 10th, 1971. This Victorian couple has often been seen.
So literally there's been paranormal activity here since it opened.
Yep, since we got it.
Wow, I didn't realize it went back that far. I mean, at least here when they got to Arizona. Wow.
And this is when I talk about the difference between spirits and ghosts. So generally, either or, both, spirits and ghosts generally like to be at places where there are a lot of memories. Now ghosts are exactly that. Ghosts are memories. They're what we call residual hauntings or imprints. And ghosts are one that usually the memory was so strong that it's forever recorded in the ether. I almost try to like explain it as an echo, right? If you're in a canyon and you yell, hello, hello, hello. So imagine that with a ghost. That memory was so strong that it's always going to be there permeating and being experienced.
So that's kind of along the lines of the stone tape theory?
Exactly.
So, interesting bit of history about this bridge. When England was at war with France, at one point they captured Napoleon Bonaparte. They took all of his weapons, rifles, cannons, anything made of iron, and melted it all down. That iron would eventually become these lamps. All of these street lamps on this bridge were once weapons of war. Can you imagine the energy they must have held on to? Not to mention the stones themselves that make up the bridge, which lends itself to what the paranormal community calls the stone tape theory, which in essence states that solid matter can hold on to spiritual energy, much like a tape recorder would capture human voices. So the literal DNA of those people who lived all those years ago is embedded in the very stone itself.
Correct. The nooks and crannies, right?
We'll call that the nooks and crannies theory.
The nooks and crannies theory, yeah. And I'll tell people, if they come here late at night when all this noise isn't happening, come here and just kind of zone out, put your hands against the wall and just be quiet. What are you experiencing? Are you hearing something? Are you smelling something? Are you seeing something in your mind's eye, right? The clairs, as we call this, the 5 or 6 clair sisters, right? Sight, sound, touch, smell. What are you experiencing? That's going to be your biggest clair. That's going to be the one that you sense the most. So yeah, so come and have a moment here late at night at the bridge and see what your clair is. What's that?
Literally holding hands with the past.
Yeah, of course, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah. Here, there was 4 different native tribes that lived within this land. the Mojave, the Navajo, the Hopi, and the Chemehuevi. Now the Chemehuevi have a casino right across the river here, and that's on the California side. And there's this lovely ferry that will bring people across for $2 round trip. I tell people to take that. You know why? Because it's a really good opportunity to see if you can experience anything on the water. See any clouds of mist, any shadows, anything strange. Because so many accidents have happened and people have been killed, there's often what is called an event haunting. Now when people say they see a ghost car or a ghost ship, that's exactly what that means. The ship does not have a brain or memory, but what an event haunting is the collective memory of all those people that were involved in that particular accident that is remembering that event happening. So that is boats. I definitely recommend going out on the lake some night.
So when you say ferry, you mean like the one coming in right now?
This is exactly the ferry.
You timed that perfectly.
I know,
okay.
Right? So I believe that that story kind of generated about Jack the Ripper haunting this bridge because in the 80s there was a movie made here about this bridge, and it was about Jack the Ripper time traveling when this bridge got here. And that was called Terror on the London Bridge, starring David Hasselhoff. So this is where I think a lot of those rumors and a lot of that history and folklore started to permeate about Jack haunting the bridge.
That's actually, that movie is why I've always wanted to visit this bridge. I saw that one.
And when you sent it, I'm like, yes, I gotta see it. I gotta see it. I gotta watch it. And of course, woohoo! Ghost Adventures came out here and did an episode.
Which you were featured in.
Which I was featured in. Pretty much proved that I was right. Not to say that, you know, I'm trying to come out here and say Ghost Adventures wrong, but they literally did fly a guy out here from London who works at the London Bridge Experience. So that guy comes out from London Bridge Experience and talks about this particular process called immurement. And what it was is people were being sacrificed inside of a bridge to make the bridge stronger. Now, that comes with its own baggage, so to speak. And I believe that wasn't the case with this bridge. Even though when Zach asked this guy, 80 sets of bodies were found in this bridge, and the way that guy turned and went, yes, this bridge, I could tell that was like an expression. Listen, watch his reaction. And I'm sure Zach probably said, just tell him it was in this bridge, right? We want to scare people because we're at this bridge right now. But I personally think it happened in that medieval bridge, because that medieval bridge was up for about 700 years. And immurment's not going to happen in a bridge that was built in the mid-1800s, right? That's definitely something that goes back a little bit further. Nowhere on any Google search that I had did I find any evidence of people's bodies being found in this. In 1967, newspapers were out, pictures were out, photographers were out, people were taking pictures. Not one article did I find about people being walled up inside of this London Bridge.
So while it may have been done at a bridge, not necessarily this bridge.
Not necessarily this bridge.
And there you have it, the London Bridge Ghost Tour put on by Havasu Hauntings and the lovely owner, Kimberly Christine, aka Nocturna. More on that later. Okay. Now, Kimberly, this was really fascinating. Some of the history you went into, and the theories, your own personal theories, your Jack the Ripper theories. What months do you hold the tour, and what else do you do aside from the tour?
If anyone's curious, is cityofdarkangelstours.com. You can also find me on Havasu Hauntings for the local stuff.
December tour startup. I'll have all those links in the video description below. Now, and also, this is kind of checking one off the bucket list for me, because I've been wanting to come out to this bridge since I was a kid, and I saw the 1985 David Hasselhoff classic Terror at London Bridge, where he battles the ghost of Jack the Ripper coming back to kill people here. You know, and if David Hasselhoff did it, you know it's real. Okay, so, and what I was surprised, you hadn't seen the movie. You are the expert on the London Bridge, and you haven't seen the movie.
I know, it's there, it's on my list. You've sent it to me. I am going to be watching it, though.
It's actually available in its entirety on YouTube. So I am going to provide a link to the full Terror at London Bridge in the description below. So you can come out to Lake Havasu, you can take the tour with Kimberly, then go to your hotel and watch the movie, or watch the movie and take the tour. Either way, I have your evening planned out for you. Kimberly, thank you again so much. It's a blast. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, hit subscribe, and you can follow all of my adventures as I hit the road for the paranormal, various urban legends, or whatever might be out there. Thank you, and we'll see you on the journey.
Thank you.
Thank you. That went well.